All right, if anyone's watching this, I've never done a live stream on YouTube before, so I know I've been getting a lot of. Sorry, I guess my phone doesn't like me, but as I was saying, I'm getting a lot of followers on YouTube lately, so I decided to try to do a live stream. I don't know, it seems what a lot of people are doing. I'm kind of not the most technologically advanced guy in the world, but hey, I figured give it a try. I'm good. Hi, Jen. How you doing? So I really don't know what a lot of people are following me for, so I figured I'd kind of do a little live stream. And if people want to, I can kind of see what people want to know, or if they have questions, or if people want to call me names, or whatever it might be. No doxing anyone. I don't want to get in trouble like Leon Valley. Uh, you do? Oh yeah. I'm just doing it because I figured, whatever that, and just kind of see what people follow my YouTube channel for. I know a lot of people want it for the gun stuff. Some people are for the mechanical stuff. Yeah, F Blue ISIS, that's definitely for sure. Um, I'm trying to get more involved in not so much the First Amendment auditor. I support them. I'm not really a First Amendment auditor myself. I back the guys who do it, and I'm all about police accountability. And when the situation arises, I back them up and I get involved in it. Here for the gun stuff, or I'm actually at my gunsmithing bench right now. So this is also my garage smoking area. I don't smoke in my house, so. But no, I just figured I'd come on here to people have any questions, about what I do or my background or my past or anything. 'Cause pretty much everyone just knows me as the fat guy from Almost Park with CJ when he got tased. So, I figured it'd be nice for people to be able to ask things. A lot of people are saying hi, Jen. I guess you're popular, Jen. Can I fashion a pistol into a camera? Yeah, actually, well, I guess if I really wanted to, I could make it easy and buy one of those cell phone cam or cell phone cases that look like a gun. So, um, I don't know. You guys can go ahead and throw some questions out there if you want to. Probably not a smart move. I don't know. I carry a real gun. Well, technically, I don't carry a real gun right now. I'm still waiting for my permission from the state to be able to carry a pistol again because my license was suspended because of the Almost Park. So eventually, I'll get it back. I got the paperwork from Bear County. I submitted it last week. So in the next, hopefully, month or two, I'll be able to get my permit reinstated. So until then. I can only carry in my house and in my vehicle. I can carry a long gun, but I don't feel like carrying an AR into Walmart just to go shopping for whatever. So I have my wife. She has her permit. Some gold cuffs for Chief of San Vigino. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a bad person. I actually got all my stuff back. They dropped the charges. I had four charges against me. And they dropped all of them for insufficient evidence. Same with CJ, so we got all our stuff back. Which is a real funny story because a lot of people keep asking me how I got that video recovered that I put up. And when I don't know if you guys seen the one from Batosai or from News Now Houston, but they actually smashed my camera against a pole and they broke it because you could tell the screen was just dangling around. So I'm like, damn it, they broke my camera. So I brought a new one. I bought a 4K one. It's actually not bad. It's a Chinesium, but it works. And I got my camera back. And the funny part is they actually fixed my camera that they broke, even though it bounced off a pole and went like another 10 feet. So what they did, and here's what I'm thinking happened, is I had an SD card in my wallet. They went through my wallet. They dumped everything out of it. And my camera took an SD card, a full size, and a micro SD card. So when they saw the SD card, they figured, oh, that was from my camera, and it didn't have anything on it. It's like, haha, the fat guy wasn't recording, he's a moron, or something of that nature. So they went into my camera and they saw the video, so they probably thought it was internal memory. So what they probably did is hit delete all, and it just deleted all the videos. Anyone who knows anything about digital media, it doesn't actually delete it. All it does is it removes it. Here, I'm going to try to steady my camera. My hands are shaky. Here, I got a water jug. There we go. And it doesn't actually delete the media. What it does is it just makes it where it's invisible. And whenever you start getting low in data space, it just writes over the media that's already there. So when they were returning my camera, and I asked them, because I'm sitting there looking at it like, wow, they fixed my camera. How very, very nice of them. I said, hey, where's the SD card at? And the guy held it up like, oh, I got your SD card right here. And at the same time, I was looking at my camera and I opened up the little slot. I'm like, oh, the SD card's already inside of it. And that cop just went, like, oh, you guys screwed up, huh? Yeah, you made a mistake. So hopped in the car and I brought my computer along and I popped it in there. I downloaded some software real quick, recovered all of it. And that's how I got the video back, including the short video of them that they recorded inside the police station while I was in their holding cell of them playing with my camera. So it's like, you're not so smart, huh? Alright, I gotta figure out how to do comments. All messages are visible. There we go. Okay, let me try to catch up on comments. The lawsuit, we wanted to wait until the charges were dropped. So we didn't do like Joanna, the lady who got arrested with us. She put her lawsuit in right away. She's doing it on her own, separate from us, where, that's her thing. We wanted to wait till our criminal charges were dropped, which JL, our lawyer out of Houston, did a great job. So once they were dropped, we talked to a couple different attorneys. Some of them were like in the ghetto with a giant rainbow card that says, we sue cops, that wanted like $20,000 down payment. And we're like, yeah, go screw yourself. But we ended up getting a firm out of Houston that is $1 billion firm. And I mean billion with B. Very big law firm. Handles very high-end cases. Has their own personal plane. Big building, everything. We talked to them and they said, hey, you're not going to need to put any money down. We're not going to have an issue winning this case. You guys are golden. They already sent a letter of intent to the city saying, hey, we're going to sue you. So from this point, we got to go back down to Houston. Soon we're going to drop off. Sorry about that. It keeps cutting out on me. I'm doing this on my phone. I don't have a camera for my computer because I'm technologically advanced. But we're going to be figuring out the amount. I don't know any of that stuff, and then from that point, we're going to be working with the city for a settlement or court. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a mechanic and a welder, and a dumb old guy who was in the army for way too long. So we'll see. TDI. I actually sold my TDI back to Volkswagen. I bought it for like 20, and they offered me 26 for it. So I'm like, okay, I've been wanting an Audi Allroad for forever, for like 15 years. Well, maybe not 15 years, but I've been wanting one for a while now. And they gave me enough money to pay my car completely off and buy an Allroad and have some money left over. So I traded my car back and bought an Allroad. I love that 2.7 twin turbo. It, all-wheel drive. Man, I got my Allroad and I got a spare motor for it, and I'm doing work to it, and I'm prepping it up, and I'm going to make that thing like a 600 horsepower beast. It's going to be fun, which I'm going to do a whole series on. As we're talking about lawsuits, a little bit of money comes in, you guys are going to be seeing some cool videos on that one. Man, I wish this thing would keep up on the comments. Hopefully you get a nice payout. Yeah, I don't know. It's Texas. Texas, it's not California. California, you can get your tow run over by a car and get like $5 million. Here in Texas, you can murders, like a cop can shoot someone and the family might get $30,000. I have no clue what's going to go on. It might be a small amount, might be a big amount. I really, really don't know. So we'll see. Still dealing with stuff. People don't know altogether. When they face planted me into the ground, they knocked me out. I ended up messing with my migraines, so I had to get Botox shot, like 27 Botox shots in my head and neck. So that's helping out. So I, got a concussion. They fractured my shoulder. They broke my wrist in 2 places, ripped a ligament, and kind of dealing with the whole having a bunch of cops threaten to kill me and the chief of police breaking my wrist. Because a lot of people don't know that when after I was arrested, the chief put me into his car, brought me to the holding cell, and then when they were transferring me from the car into the holding cell, he decided to take my wrist and bend it back to my forearm for whatever reason he decided in his head was an appropriate thing, and snap my wrist in two places. Or it may have been already damaged from the time they, threw me to the ground because it broke the handcuffs. They had to use another pair of handcuffs to handcuff me because they broke it when they threw me down. So I don't know. I was in an adrenaline rush, so I didn't feel anything until we were getting out of San Antonio, like 23 hours later. It's all just kind of a cluster. That, and we've been trying to. Me and CJ so wanted to go to Leon Valley, but our lawyer is like, don't do it, man. Just chill out, let that thing play out. You can't get involved in stuff like that right now, so just be quiet. Let's see if I can't keep comments going. I don't know why it's not showing them. Let's see. 50% constituency, Houston, no. That, and I know a few people commented too, my beard's shorter. I had an accident. I was helping a friend burn some brush, and it was kind of wet, so it wasn't lighting up. So me, being the dumb mechanic I am, decided to start some or pour some lighting or starter fluid on it. I figured, hey man, I'll just wait 30 seconds, it'll be fine. And then threw a match on it, and a vortex of fire shot up and burned half my beard off and my left eyebrow. And I got first-degree burns on my face, so I had to grow my beard back. So this is what I have after about a month and some change. And my eyebrow's back now. My skin's all healed up. I don't look like I got herpes all over my lips from all the burns, but luckily I'm part mutant, so I heal quickly. I don't know. Anyone else have any questions? They only show up when people ask new questions. So if anyone has anything, I don't know, military experience, when I was younger, what I do, feel free to ask it. I'm just here to answer questions. I'm a weird guy. If anyone hasn't seen my videos, especially the one in Austin with we call her the boob lady. She usually walks around with no top on and glitter and screams while we try to do Second Amendment stuff and yells at her kids and tells us how we don't deserve to have kids and how they should be shot to death to prove points to us and stuff like that. She was the one with the purple hat on. Do I live in Houston? No, I live right outside of Fort Hood in Killeen. Killeen's actually not a very good area. We have a higher murder rate per capita than Chicago does. So that's why I like to carry. Doing a change my mind style booth. I have a banner. I'm not sure what to change my mind style. Oh, okay, like Steven Crowder does. Yeah, I love that guy. You know what? CJ would probably be better at the change my mind kind of thing. He's a very influential character. Me, I'm kind of popular. I've been in Esquire magazine. I've talked to BBC, Dallas Star, San Antonio Express. I've been in, I don't know, probably a couple dozen different news articles, but I'm usually like the backup guy. I try not actively to stay out of the news because I do talk to news sometime, but usually I just go, hey, talk to CJ. He's the more articulate of the bunch. I'm kind of the guy who, like, after they're done talking to him, I'll put my 2 cents in. But until Almost Park happened, that's kind of the one where it's like, oh, wow, hey, this guy. But for the last 5 years, I've been trying to keep my face kind of off cameras as much as possible. Even during the Esquire interview, we had like 4 or 5 pages. We had Austin Winters, the photographer out of Austin, great photographer. I spent like 3 days with the guy writing the piece, talking to him, and he actually mentions me quite a bit in the article. But I didn't want to take away from the movement that CJ started, so I actually didn't go to the photography session. Any action from Almost Park against me? No. Obviously, all the charges been dropped. They originally charged me with what is it? God, I always forget the first one. It's short-term memory loss, traumatic brain injury, deployed to Iraq. A lot of explosion, mortars. I I call it the Homer Simpson syndrome. The percussion, the blast makes your brain rattle inside your skull. So unfortunately, I suffer from that. But they got me for, God, damn, having a brain fart. Whenever you do something dumb in public. Anyways, whatever that is, impeding a roadway, resisting arrest, and impeding a police officer's duties. Everything got knocked down, but impeding a police officer's duties, which that got knocked. That didn't even go to court. We didn't even go to my initial hearing. My lawyer talked to the DA, and they're like, "Hey, you got no evidence against this." In Texas, it's legal to verbally protest, so everything got dropped completely. Public disturbance, no, it's oh God, the big one's the Class A misdemeanor. We're having a brain fart right now. I always forget until I look at the paper. I don't know why I always forget that one. But anyways, it's. Are you filing? Yes. We're not filing in federal court yet. We're trying to do out of court first. You're smoking. I quit smoking 2 months ago. I was like, see what you said there, because for some reason it doesn't keep up. Yeah, sorry about that. I quit drinking about a decade ago. So this is my fix. I have like a beer every now and then. I maybe once or twice a year have more than a drink or two, but other than that, I'm a smoker. I tried vaping. That just didn't cut it. I just felt like a dragon blowing giant things of smoke, but it didn't do anything for me. Either that or going to the range and shooting. Oh, I love shooting. I got a private range I work with for a license to carry class. The CJ and YouTube channel, can you plug in? He has a YouTube channel, but CJ is usually busy. Today's Wednesday, so him and his family, because they're Mormons, they have church, so he's probably at church right now. Usually we do live Facebook streams together. We'll talk about stuff, but he's a separate thing right now. That's why I'm just kind of doing it, whatever about Jim. 2012 about. Oop, hold on a sec. Trying to catch up on stuff. It keeps disappearing everything. Yeah, like I said, I was smoking a pack a day in Iraq, and I just couldn't quit smoking. I quit for like 6 months, and I was the most irritable mofo in the world. And they got me on Velfalaxin now. They just upped me to, what is it, like 225 milligrams, because I was just irritable after the whole Almost Park, and being around cops makes me a little iffy right now. So smoking helps me. So maybe down the road I'll quit, for my kids and my health and all that, because I'm only 35, and I'd like to live to see them graduate high school. So something about TDI Sport Wagon, 15 below list. I'm waiting for the Skies 240. 15 below list is pretty good. Yeah, I love the Sport Wagons. I miss my Sport Wagon. I actually kind of wish I kept it, but I said I got one I liked out of it. Howdy. Hey, what's up, Wolfman? What's going on, man? Yeah, I'm taking advice from you and doing live stream stuff. Never done one of these, so I figured, hey, give it a try. Like I said, a lot of people, they don't know much about me. Like I said, I'm just the fat guy with the rifle. I love how many people, if you look through the comments, they're like, oh, man, you don't need to be carrying an assault rifle around in public. I'm like, it's a Brita ARX 160. It's a 22 rifle. It's like, good Lord. Need to come back and put alt in my 2000 Cancel K5500. Alternator? Yeah, that's not hard to do. I got a lift and a full shop, so all that's easy for me. Yeah, DSG tunes are a pain on Volkswagens because you can't just flash tune them like you can, the ECU. You actually have to go into the DSG itself with a KES master. I think I got a video on when I did mine, but yeah, you have to go into directly to DSG computer with the KES master. You have to download the program, send it to your tuner, have them read it, modify it, send it back to you. When I did mine with Kerma, I actually got it and it was a little too rough for me, so I talked to their tuner and I had them lighten up the pressure on it just a wee bit, just for drivability, because I said it was shifting way too hard. They modified the tune, gave it back to me while I still had the master, plugged it back in, it shifted a hell of a lot better for me. And then from that point, they said, hey, here's the next guy who has it. Gave me the shipping address, put it on the box, and sent it out to him. But yeah, I want to get a clone Kess, but unless you have the program that'll read it and be able to do the tuning for it, it's not really worth having. That and a genuine Kess Master is like $4,000 or $5,000. That's why I just stay with VCDS. That's what I'm doing a 6-speed, so I don't got to worry about trying to do it stuff anymore. You got any other questions coming in? This is for you guys, trying to figure out what you guys like to know about. Well, that, and if you guys see my SEAL Team 3 hat, I don't know if you guys see my videos, but when we had all the hurricanes down here in Texas last year, one of my buddies from the Army, Josh, he hit me up and he's like, it's right after the floods hit Houston. A lot of people were rushing out there to help. And he's like, man, I want to help. I got a truck, but I don't have any money. He also had a boot. Am I coming down next week? Yes, I'm going to San Antonio on the 19th. I'll be down. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to Houston on the 19th. I'm going to Houston on the 19th. We got to go meet with our attorneys. Screw you, bug. So we can go over some stuff. But I'm not sure when I'm going to San Antonio next. But we went out to Houston, spent a couple days down there doing rescues. We had to wait for the water to get down because our boat was too underpowered, pulling people out of, 3-4 feet of water. Little old ladies stuck in their houses that broke their hips, this and that. Pulling security. We had a big issue in the northeast side of Houston. What did you say that gun you were carrying was? Yeah, it was a Beretta ARX 160. It was the 22 caliber. Came with a 20-shot magazine factory. I had a couple of the H&K 30 rounds, the same magazine. They're both made by Euramax, but no, I mean it's actually an expensive 22. I think they're going for damn near $500 nowadays. I think the last time I looked at them, the only place I could find them for sale was for like $480 some. It's a great gun though. I mean, I can put any ammunition through it. I had a couple issues with the H&K mags, but other than that, it was great. Okay, Beware Mouse, nice talking to you. No, it's kind of an AR platform. It's not really an AR. It's the ARX, which is the Beretta series. It's what a lot of like NATO troops carry. Obviously, it's not a select fire because I'm not rich. Like I can't afford to buy one. Plus, I don't think they made a select fire 22. Eventually, I would like to be able to afford one or get my manufacturer's license so I can buy them. But for now, I can't afford that. But no, it was just a semi-automatic 22. We're looking for a small 22, but it's cheap. My wife has a Remington. I'm trying to remember the model of it. I mean, because obviously the Ruger 1022 is always great. 1022 has so much aftermarket support. If you want to get a better trigger, you want to get a better follower, you want to get a better bolt, you want to get anything for it, 1022 is the way to go. You get the breakdown. My wife has the Remington, I think it's a 577, I think is the model of, and having a brain fart on it right now. But that she's got that in the bull barrel, which is a Target one with the threaded barrel on it, and that's a great gun. It doesn't have much for aftermarket support. The trigger is a little long and a little stiff, but for her it's great. You can get the 30 round magazines for it. She likes it. I kept the Hogue stock on it, put a cheek riser. A good scope on it, for 22, so it's good out to about 100 or so. But I mean, it's a good gun. I like the ARX because that thing, like I said, I can run anything. Waiting on Kerma for that. Yeah, if you talk to Kale from Kerma TDI, he is the greatest guy when it comes to sales ever. You got any issue, talk to Kale, and he will completely get you straightened away. If there's any issues whatsoever, just talk to him and he'll make sure you're 100% satisfied. In fact, I got like 100 or so of his air fresheners and stickers when I was repping his company back when I had my TDI, because I had stickers all over it from them. But the ARX, like I said, I can run subsonic ammo, round nose lead ammo. I could run hyper velocity. I could run a suppressor on it. Never had an issue with a round on that thing. So if you got a little bit of money and you want a good 22, the ARX is a good gun. Actually, me and CJ were talking about auctioning off his pistol that he was carrying during his first arrest in Temple like 5 years ago, and my ARX. I don't know what happened to it. I gave him my rifle, but he hadn't done anything yet, so we'll see what happens. That, and I don't know if people remember that his AR that he was carrying during the arrest. It was in store, or he was in like police storage for like 3 years. And at some point they dropped it and had the old A2 sight where the carrying handle was a sight too, and it just bent it in, and the thing was just covered in rust, covered in rust. That thing was horrible shape. So he actually transferred it to me, gave me $1, or I gave him $1. I bought it off him, and I stripped that thing completely down, cleaned it out, fixed the rear sight, fixed the front sight, completely went through it, took all the rust off, took it down, refinished it, put a brand new coat of Armor Black on it, did a trigger job, cleaned everything back up, and put it back together so it's like a brand new rifle for him now. So it's good to know that his rifle's back in shooting shape. He's not going to give that guy up, but he's talking about getting rid of his 45. I think it was a Kimber Commander series he had, so that might be up for auction with my Beretta in Open Carry, Texas, somewhat soon. So we'll see what he does. No, I got all 7 people, so if any of you 7 guys got a question for me, you can feel free to throw it out there. And other than that, you're just looking at my big, fat, ugly mug. Awkward silence. See if I can bring up comments, see if there's anything I missed. What's going on with the POTUS? Well, as usual, Trump got himself a new judge. I don't know a lot about the judge. I've been looking into him a little bit. Seems straightforward. Seems a little wavy on the Roe versus Wade thing. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think he's doing good as president. I think he needs to learn to shut the fuck up sometimes. Um, he's he's delivering. You know, he said he was going to move to Jerusalem. He moved to Jerusalem. He said he's going to tighten up on border security. He's tightening up on border security. He said he's going to bring jobs. He brought jobs. He said he's going to restore the economy. The economy's going up. Black employment's up. Reopening steel mills in Chicago. I used to live in Chicago when I went to UTI. You know, he's doing a good job, honestly. There's not much more to say about it. I mean, liberals absolutely despise him. You know, I was in Austin a couple weekends ago for the the illegal immigration family separation thing they had going on, and you know, I was telling people, it's like, hey, you know, he already signed an executive order trying to get people, or better yet, he signed the executive order already to end this, but it takes time because it's the government. Government doesn't do anything. Let's see, what say? Thank you for you did almost park much pre. I'll get to the last comment in a second, but you know, they're saying, oh, he didn't, you know, that order doesn't mean anything. It's just a piece of paper. He's just doing it because he wants to be famous. Well, I mean, if the House and Senate sign something, that's just going to be a piece of paper too. The fact is, he did make an executive order, but it takes time for it to be implemented. The government's slow. I mean, I was a government employee for over a decade. Nothing happens quickly. It's going to take time. But when it comes to, the last comment was almost parked. A lot of people are like, dude, you got giant balls. You're a hero. I'm just like anybody else. I'm just like you. I'm just like any other patriot, any person who actually believes in this nation. I'm not a special person. I didn't even think it was going to go that way. I thought maybe at most they might come up, turn their lights on, be dicks, be like, hey, you're open carry and we need to see your license. I tell them, hey, do you have probable cause? Have I committed a crime? Something of that nature. Maybe they detain me temporarily, take my license, see that I have a permit, and then from that point, let me go. You know, sorry about that. I don't know why my phone keeps doing that. But anyways, I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be like it went down. And, you know, David, Batosai, Jack, all of them told me, hey, it might happen like that. And, well, it did. And I just reacted. You know, I was in the military, so I've been to combat. I've had people point guns at me. And I'm kind of, I won't want to say the phrase used to it, but I've been through it before. I've been through more stressful situations. So when it happened, I just reacted out of muscle memory. I'm not a special guy. I'm not some kind of hero of the people or any weird title like that. I'm just another American who loves his country, who's getting sick and tired of the way that things are happening. You're required to show them permit of your pistol you saw open carrying. Okay, state law in Texas is that police have the legal right to demand that you show your permit, which is true, but there is no consequence if you do not show them your permit. So, it's like, yeah, by law I'm supposed to, but if I don't, they can't arrest me, they can't do anything against me because it's not a crime to not show them. So now, if you look at Brown versus Texas, Terry versus Ohio, it does state the fact that just because I'm carrying a gun in a state where it's legal, doing illegal activity, does not give them the right to demand ID specifically because I am carrying. Now, if they have reasonable suspicion of a crime other than that, and they have a reason to commit a Terry stop outside of just me carrying a firearm, then from that point I do have to ID because it's just a Terry stop, and from that point they can look at my license to carry and my driver's license. But they can't just go, hey, you got a gun, give me your license. Now, in San Antonio, when I was in lockup, I talked to a couple of people, and I guess there's been an issue in San Antonio where the cops there like to do that. They'll come up and say, hey, let me see your permit. Oh, you're not going to give it to me. The law says that I have the right to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you, I'm going to arrest you, I'm going to throw you in jail. Then I'm going to make you bail out. But because there's no criminal charge against it, we're just going to let you go, making you get arrested, pay for bail, go through the whole process just to be assholes. So that's one of those ones where it's like, they know they're in the wrong. They know what they're doing has no consequence, but they're doing it just because they can. Because, I'm the authority. I'm the police. I do what I want to. Nah, that kind of deal. That we call it the Judge Dredd syndrome. The I am the law. So that's a situation people in San Antonio are dealing with. Well, I've been in open carry Texas for 5 years. I've had, I don't even know, dozens upon dozens upon dozens interactions with police while open carrying. Never had a problem. They look at me like, you carrying? Yeah. You got a license? Sure do. Okay, whatever, cool. And if I get pulled over, I hand them my license with my license to carry. They go, you got a gun? Yep. It on you? Yep. Okay, whatever, cool. They don't care because they realize that the 3% of Texans that carry are the 3% of the most law-abiding citizens in the entire state. You're more likely to get shot by a cop in Texas than you are by a person who's legally carrying. So why are they going to care? They don't want us doing it. Then you hear the chief of police going, the usual story, we show up to a robbery and there's 3 guys holding guns. Who do we know the bad guy? Well, if there's a guy shooting or holding his store up and there's 2 guys with license to carry, the 2 guys pointing a gun at the bad guy, guess who the bad guy is? Yeah, it's the one on the ground, sprawled out with his gun down, and the other 2 guys pointing guns at him. When the cops show up, they're going to be the ones going, hey, that guy robbed the store. They say put the guns down, they're going to put the guns down. It's not a real hard situation. Any person with half a brain can figure that out. Do you know when they run your plates and a concealed carry permit? Yes, if in Texas, if they run your license plate, it comes back to you personally, which comes up with all your information, which they'll let you know if you have a license to carry. Now, you don't by law have to give them your license to carry when you get pulled over, but one of the things in open carry Texas is we always talk about being responsible. So we go, hey, if you get pulled over, the best thing to do is when you give them your driver's license, your insurance, and your proof of registration, just go ahead and hand them your license to carry. They're already going to know it, but if you're forthcoming with it, then it's a little bit more like, hey, I know that you know that I know, we both know you got my license, it's cool, you know that I have it. And a lot of, like me, I have a car gun, a car rifle, plus one on me, so usually if I get pulled over, which is a rarity, maybe once every few years, like they get caught me for doing like 5 over or something, I got 3 guns on me. I went through an inland border checkpoint with an AR strapped across my chest once. I rolled down the window. Guy looked at me. He laughed. He went, "Yeah, you're Americans. Just keep going. Just keep going." They didn't even ask me any questions. Oh man, I must be that popular. I got 4 people. Well, I guess it's 4 people. Yeah, hi 4 people. Look like Black Label. He's got like 400 people. I guess I'm one tenth as cool as he is. Does concealed carry allow more than 1 gun at a time? I can't speak for other states. In Texas, you can carry as many guns as you want. When it comes to concealed carry, you can carry a gun anywhere you want as long as it's concealed. You want to have it in your purse, your backpack, your boot, anywhere that's concealed. When it comes to open carry, it has to be on a belt or shoulder holster. So that means if it's on a belt holster, it can be a drop down holster as long as it physically attaches to your belt. If it's a shoulder holster, as long as it's a holster that goes over your shoulders and physically attaches that way somehow, then yes, you can have a shoulder holster of 2 guns, a belt holster of 1 on both sides, and 5 concealed guns if you want to. There is no limitations on how many guns or what kind of guns you carry. If it's a pistol, it has to follow the rules. If it's a rifle, you can walk around with a 50 BMG on your back with no license if you want to in the state of Texas. Just don't do it in the post offices or anywhere like that. In San Antonio, so then open carry, you can only have 1. No, in all the state of Texas, you can carry as many guns as you want to. If you want to have, let's say, a Glock open carried on your right hip, backup, concealed carry in your left hip, a boot gun, and then one in your, like a breakdown AR-15 pistol in your backpack, that's perfectly legal. You can have as many as you want. There's no limitations on how many concealed carry guns you can have. Yeah, I'm pretty much just wasting time, Mike. Yeah, there's no limitations on long guns in Texas. You can carry a long gun, which consists of any rifle or shotgun. You just can't have it in school zones. You can't carry it into a bank. You can carry it into a like a police station as long as it's inside the common area. You can't carry into and you can carry into a private business, but if they tell you to leave, you got to leave. Otherwise, it's criminal trespass. But you can't carry on the federal property, like can't carry into Fort Hood, can't carry into any air base or any federal government installation. Any place you're not supposed to carry a gun, you can't carry a gun. Simple as that. Oh, I'm down to 2. I'm so unpopular, nobody likes me. I saw a guy open carrying in a police station, and it was bad because they had... Yeah, you're talking about the guys in Michigan. There's a lot to that story a lot of people don't know. Is they were getting ready to open carry, and the cops kind of came up, and they were talking to them, and they're just kind of like, hey, we see guys pulling out guns and all that, so we just kind of want to see what's going on, and they ended up kind of freaking out on them, and those guys, they're kind of dicks, like they're like the Mexican Padillas, they're talking a lot of crap, but, you go into a police station with an AK strapped across your chest and ski masks on and full body armor, you're going to get a reaction. It's going to happen, unfortunately. That's why whenever you carry, you got to be aware of how you're carrying and what you're doing. If I own a business and a guy walks in with full body armor and AK across his chest, his hand on the, near the trigger and a ski mask on, I'm going to think he's robbing a place and he's going to get a gun thrown in his fucking face. I'm sorry. I support the Second Amendment, but that right there screams, hey, I have malicious intent. Now, if they were to walk in there, with it on their back and take their ski mask off before they get in and not have their hands anywhere near the trigger guard, it's, less threatening. But when you walk into a police station, especially in Dearborn, and people have to understand, in Dearborn, they have an extremely high population of Muslim people. And let's just face it, when it comes to terrorist attacks, Muslim people make up the majority of Muslim attacks that happen in America. So when you're in Dearborn with a very high Muslim population, you see 2 guys with ski masks and AKs and body armor walking your police station, you're probably thinking something bad's going to happen. I don't really blame the cops. I think they may have overreacted a bit, but I think the bad part is what happened in court. The fact that they throw like felony charge for this and felony charge for that, and they're talking crap online and invading freedom of speech, and that's where it really caught up with them. But I think the way they handled themselves about going about auditing, that's pretty much what screwed them on that one. Especially when it comes to First Amendment auditors, I think the gold standard when it comes to First Amendment auditors would probably be like News Now, Houston, and Batosai. Those guys, completely cool. They walk in, they talk politely. They only escalate when someone else escalates. They're really kind, they're really polite, they're professional. Then you have guys like Mexican Padilla. That guy is a douchebag. He walks in, he starts calling people names and punto this and punto that and just being a complete asshole. And he makes situations happen. Cringe when I saw the video, they walked into the police station. Yeah, I saw that too. And a lot of guys in the pro Second Amendment, groups, they're like, oh, that's their right to do it. It's like, it is their right to do it. But it also depends upon how you do it. And I have to understand the fact that if I walked around with a mask on, like you see in Austin, we had the Antifa march. I got covered in one of my videos as well. You got guys walking around with sub 2000s and masks on, waving communist flags. I'm sorry, but those guys are a threat. It's your right to carry, and I'm not just going to shoot you because you're carrying, but I'm going to perceive you as a threat, so I'm going to keep an eye on you. And if that rifle ever comes up and points at anyone, and I feel that you're a direct threat to me or anyone else, I'm fucking shooting you. It's simple as that. You walk into a park, got to readjust, my butt's falling asleep, sorry. You walk into a park with a mask, full body armor, and an AK, I'm going to look at you and be like, I don't trust you. How do you feel about the school shooting in Florida? Okay, we're about to get into some conspiracy theory stuff here for a moment. You guys may not like me, you guys may agree with me, you guys may call me a crackpot. I don't think Sandy Hook happened. I think Sandy Hook was bullshit. I don't think anyone was killed there. If you look at the fact that there was no bodies, I think everyone's paid actors. I think they paid the town off. And I think the people who orchestrated it, mostly Soros and he working with the Democratic Party and the people who want to push gun control, realize that, hey, we can't do this fake shooting because people aren't believing it. So when we don't have a body count, people are going to look at it and go, hey, there's something fishy here. So then they did the Pulse nightclub shooting. And if you look at the fact that the father of the Pulse nightclub shooting was an informant for the CIA, the fact that they knew about the son, they knew about the weapons, they knew about everything that was going on, but they didn't do anything to stop it, I think that they were kind of setting him up to do it. Then the fact that they had crisis actors there. You see the guy who was getting carried, like, oh, I got shot in the leg, and the two guys were carrying him towards the club instead of away from the club, and then they show him off camera sitting there standing on his leg perfectly fine having a cigarette smoking when they were setting up another camera. I think what happened in Parkland is I think that they were waiting for the perfect storm. They found a kid who was mentally unstable, whose parents just passed away, who probably wasn't taking his medication, who had firearms, who was claiming to do a school shooting. So what they did is said, hey, this kid's going to do it. Let's set it up. Let's get these actors in here. Let's get David Hogg, who's older than he actually is, who's going to work for us. We're going to pay for him, or he's going to be, we're going to send him all around of America. He's going to be our spokesperson. He's going to pretend to be younger because he looks younger. They got the kid into the school and he couldn't do it. He just froze up. So what they did is they brought an officer in full armor that they couldn't see because the one teacher said they saw a guy in full armor shooting with a rifle. I think they had an officer or someone, a merc or whatever, do the shooting. They drugged him. They dumped him 2 miles down the road. Then when you see the arrest of him, he can't even stand up. He can't stand up. He can't keep his head up. He's completely out of it. They put him in a cop car, but what they don't show you is 5 minutes later, they're pulling him out of the cop car. They had to put him in a gurney and put him into an ambulance, and the kid couldn't even lift his head up. How the hell is he that messed up where he can't even lift his head up, but he did a school shooting and then ran 2 miles away? I'm sorry, but that is bullshit. I think all that was orchestrated just to push gun control. And if you look at any of these big ones where, they step in for the March for Our Lives and this and that, all of that is controlled by the anti-gun media. You know what? Honestly, I think the Aurora theater shooting was a real shooting. It could have just been, it's a dark theater, guy was shooting, moved around a little bit. There are some real ones, like Nevada. They're bringing out facts about what happened in Las Vegas. The fact that he had two hotel rooms set up by two different events that he plotted out. He went scoped his rifles out, did everything, and he was trying to figure out which one would net the most people. And the other concert that was going on ended up having a lot less people. So he just cleared all his stuff out of the hotel that he had by that concert, moved it to Las Vegas, waited for the big crowd, got the big crowd. Then you got, these videos of these cops who are just waiting, letting this guy do the shooting. They could have went in there and took him out at any point, but they didn't. I think that they knew he was going to do it. They knew everything was being set up. They allowed it to happen. And after it was done, then they went in there, they killed him, and they said, hey, no witnesses. There you go. And it's done and over with. I'm going to go to the cigarette is out. So if anyone got any more questions, I've been on here for about 50 minutes now. So I'm sure you guys are probably getting bored of me talking crap. What boggles my mind is it killed 50-something people out of firing huge crowd. You know what? I looked at it, I really don't know if there was another shooter or what happened, but I've shot bump stocks before, and if he had enough weapons, I know he would have melted that barrel. But I'm looking at, and I looked at the pictures, and you could see that the gas tubes were blown out. So he probably dumped magazine after magazine, blew it out, grabbed another gun, did it over and over. And if you have a very high density, because here's the problem, if you talk to the people who were there, you listen to them when they were interviewing them, they said that they actually blocked the exits and there was only one way out that was real narrow. So it sounds like they set up that concert where it was a choke point or kill point. There's a lot more people that have gotten hit. Yeah, there was a lot of people who were injured, but of course, they only covered what they wanted. The media only covers what they want you to hear. After that, then they just let you go. Remember, the media only gives out the information that they feel is important, not the truth. It's just 10%. That's all you get. Everything else is information that they don't think is pertinent to you. They just care about what guns you use, and they don't care about the modem or the motive. They just care about what they want you to know because they're controlled by the same people who set it up. So they set the concert up where it's an easy kill zone. Went out there, just unloaded into a big group of people, and I was a saw gunner. Parkland wasn't fake. Parkland was real, but it was a setup. I think the kid couldn't do it, so the cops did it, drugged him, dropped it off, and blamed it on him. I think those kids were really killed, though. I mean, just like 9/11, I'm not going to get started way into that because I really don't know what happened, but the extra buildings, you look at the guy who had the lease on it, the billions of dollars he got, bringing us back into Iraq, control of the region in Southeast or Southwest Asia and all that stuff. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that it was controlled explosions that dropped down the 3 buildings. Yep, buildings. There's 2 towers, controlled explosion. Then there's another building that was off to the side that supposedly had burning debris land on it that made the entire building collapse perfectly on itself, which is the only major structure in history of the world that had burning debris land on it, causing it to perfectly collapse on itself. Yeah, go figure on that one. No, they said that it was just the debris got on it, the building caught on fire, and that caused the steel to weaken, and then it collapsed perfectly on itself without making any damage to the buildings around it. I'm not a smart guy, but I can smell bullshit when it's nearby. But I'm finishing the smoke up, so it was nice talking to everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. If it was boring, I'm sorry. If it was cool, sweet. But y'all have a great night. I'm going to go. I got to start getting the kids ready for bed. So I will see y'all next time. I just got to figure out how to end this thing. Yep, anytime. Invictus Media. Tell you what, man, if you're on Facebook, you can go ahead and add me if you want. It's Jim Everard. I got a all the time. So y'all have a good one. All right, bye.